Now we move on to the next session and we gear up for the importance of coaching for lawyers, which is also a keynote speech. I think coaching for lawyers is less about mastering the law and more about mastering oneself. After all, the greatest courtroom battles are often internal. With that being said, I invite Dr. Bharat Nain to the stage, please. Please welcome him with a huge round of applause. Dr. Bharat Nain is a corporate professional with over 40 years of experience, including 26 plus years in executive search, HR consulting, and executive coaching. He is the founder director of the United Resources Consultant Private Limited and a trained posh advisor, besides being an arbitrator. He advocates women empowerment and is determined that the incidents of sexual harassment of women need to be dealt with firmly. We welcome you to the stage, sir. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. Friends, I am Nain, and this is not a speech, this is not a talk. This is opening of the mind in terms of your career and where it can take you in terms of executive coaching. Now, I see there are a lot of youngsters in the room. The average age must be 30, 33 from what I can see. I want to clarify one point that executive coaching is not about leadership coaching only. It's not only about leaders and top people. Executive coaching is a methodology applicable to the young lady who asked a lot of questions over there about B.N. Mukherjee, who's at the early stages of her career. Executive coaching is applicable to the senior-most member over here. Executive coaching is a personalized vehicle for leadership growth, for your growth, within your profession, within your life, and within your organization. I'm going to talk of that. So it is of relevance even for a 22-year-old young professional coming into the legal field or a 65-year-old person. I mean, I am currently coaching a 63-year-old person who's a CEO of a company. And at the same time, I have a chartered accountant with 4 years experience who I'm coaching. So it covers the breadth of an individual's career. Before I start, I'll give you a little bit of my background. I have a very rare background. I'm actually a mechanical engineer. I'm not a lawyer, incidentally, though I'm an arbitrator. I'm a mechanical engineer with a postgraduate in marketing, a PhD in HR and management sciences, and a fellowship in arbitration from SIRB. So I've covered the breadth of different domains. This is the reason I'm bringing this to the table, is to explain to you that an executive coach does not have to be a domain specialist. If you, as a young lawyer, are looking for an executive coach, you do not need someone with a legal background. You need someone with a very strategic bent of mind and a strategic perspective. I also function as an arbitrator. I have written a book, FAQs on arbitration in India. The entire book is without a single legal word. I'm a posh advisor. I have written a book, FAQs on posh and on the Posh Act. The entire book is without a single legal word. And I also run a community of about 3,000 youngsters on multiple WhatsApp groups where I answer common sense queries on arbitration and posh. This is my background to tell you why executive coaching need not be a domain specialization. Now, can someone tell me what is common between these people? There are various people listed globally and from India. What is the common factor? Can you hear me? What is the common factor between all these people? Can anybody tell me? These are famous personalities. You got Sundar Pichai, you got Barack Obama, you got Steve Jobs, you got Andre Agassi, you got Oprah Winfrey, you got Harish Mariwala, Rajesh Patil, you got the football player, you got the PepsiCo CEO. There is one common factor between all these people. There is Serena Williams, the tennis player. There is a Ford CEO. There is Bill Gates from Microsoft. There is another US president somewhere. I can't. Bill Clinton. Is there a common factor amongst all these people? Can somebody tell me? They are from poor background. No. I mean, possibly one factor. There is another common thing amongst all these people. And they are from diverse domains. From players to, in fact, Virat Kohli is also there in that list. From football players to tennis players to cricket players to presidents to politicians to large industrialists to founders. What is the common factor between all these people? They're all school dropouts. Perhaps yes, but not necessarily. Barack Obama is from Harvard Law School. All of them are visionary. I can't hear you. Leadership qualities, yes. There is another factor which conjoins all of them together, which has led to their vision and their leadership qualities. The lady there? Perseverance and determination, that's a trait. Those could be individual traits, but there is a common factor linking all of them. Yep.
Sir, they are all outliers in their respective fields.
Outstanding?
Outliers.
Outliers.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What else? I just want to tell you, in my session, you can interrupt me and ask me questions whenever you want, okay? Yeah.
Highly passionate.
Highly passionate. Well, the factor which is common besides all the other factors is that each of these people had an executive coach. All had executive coach. Barack Obama had an executive coach. Bill Clinton had an executive coach. Serena Williams had an executive coach. Harsh Mariwala, the Indian industrialist, got an executive coach. Aditya Birla has an executive coach. Virat Kohli has an executive coach. A coach is a customized coaching is a customized program which takes you higher in the value chain. You do not need a coach if you're a failure. Coach is supposed to make good people great and great people excellent. A coach is someone who lets you take the credit, steps back at that time, and if there is a failure, says we share the failure. So each of these people had an executive coach. A lot of them. Now you'll notice there are only 3 Indian names. The reason is not many Indian people like to admit, Indian professionals like to admit that they have an executive coach for reasons which are cultural. Now, the need for coaching, I've just put together some figures. These are not, figures from any encyclopedia of the Bible, but these are obtained from the net to tell you where is the gap of leadership, where is your opportunity of leadership, and where a coach can help you. For example, there are 12 million registered lawyers in the country. Do any of you know what is the passing percentage for the judiciary exams? You know, the judiciary, the number of positions have gone up. Do you know what is the passing percentage of the judiciary exam? Pardon? Approximate on an Indian national basis?
45%.
It's 2%. That is the vacuum available in terms of growth, or that is the opportunity available for you to grow. Do you know how many Supreme Court advocates on record are there? Out of 12 lakh lawyers, how many Supreme Court advocates are there? It's one of the toughest exams to pass. Can anybody make a guess? Just 3,100. Just 3,100. Actually, there is a school of thought which says it is under 3,000, but I've been safe, 3,100. From 12 lakh lawyers, only 3,100. So it gives you an idea of the opportunity available to grow. I put together various figures. Now, in a lot of sessions, we heard of a lot of youngsters today want to get into corporate law. I come from the corporate world. Do you know how many general counsels are there in the country? Not corporate lawyers only, but general counsels. Can anybody take a wild guess without looking at the picture? How many general counsel? How many of you want to get into corporate law or would like to get into corporate law? We had a lot of sessions for general counsels, and over there they were asked the question, how many of you would get into corporate law? 80% of the people put their hands up. Do you know how many general counsels are there? Just 350. That is the opportunity available to go up the value stream. And the easiest path to do that is executive coaching. I've given the figure of number of this 23,800 judges in India. Do you know how many people appear for the exams? Over 100,000 people appear for the entrance exams for law in India. So it gives you an opportunity of the demand. It gives you an idea of the opportunity. It gives you an idea of the gap and why coaching will help you. Any questions until now? Now, coaching is a customized leadership growth methodology for all professionals. When I say customized means coaching is not a classroom. Coaching is not a group. Coaching is a one-to-one exercise. Coaching is an exercise where the coach and the individual partner together for growth. The coach never makes any suggestions. The coach never gives you an answer. The coach never gives you a solution. The coach is not a mentor. The coach only holds a mirror in front of you, understands your way of thinking, and channelizes you on a path which can take you higher. So it's very customized. A typical coaching engagement will last 6 to 8 months and is not more than 6 to 8 meetings in those 6 to 8 months. Each meeting can be 90 to 120 minutes. Each meeting ends with a lot of homework. Based on the flow of the discussion, the goal which the individual wants to achieve, certain assignments are planned which are measurable, quantifiable, which have a time band. It is the coach's duty, like a monitor in a school, to see that the metrics are measured and performance is calibrated so that you can go to the next goal. Coaching is not about failures. Coaching is not about senior people. Coaching is people at all levels, which I've said, to make effective, productive, and successful leaders. If you want to go up the value chain, leader doesn't mean becoming the CEO of a country, of a company. Leader means becoming the leader in your domain, in your niche, in your organization, in your profession. Excelling in your profession and standing out from those 12 lakh lawyers to become one part of the 3,100, if that's what you want to do. It aims to transform managers from good to great and great to excellent. There is a variety of coach which I jokingly call the undertaker coach. An undertaker coach is often organizations will call me and say that we have what we think is a good professional, but he or she has not been successful in their job. We may want to part ways and we are giving him or her the last opportunity to change tax and perform better. I call that the undertaker. उस बंदे का death warrant signed हो गया. Such coaching is irrelevant. It's never going to work. Coaching is relevant only if you want to take a successful person to a much bigger height. Let's never forget that. And it is as relevant for a 3-year-old person with 3 years experience and with someone with 25 years experience. Now, the benefits are, it gives you goal orientation and accountability. Each meeting starts with what would you like to discuss in today's meeting. It could be a goal in life, it could be a personal goal, it could be a professional goal, it could be a corporate goal, it could be a goal as simple as saying, I'm never on time, how do I manage that? It is the coach's skill to guide that to take you on a growth path, whatever the topic you want. I had a very interesting assignment with a young, with an Indian who had never lived in India, who had been born and brought up in UK. Took up an assignment in Ahmedabad, and one of the first things which came up, the first point she wanted to talk about is, I'm not happy in this city. Now, not happy in this city as a coach made me think in terms of what are the aspirations. Is there a gap in terms of objectives and aspirations with respect to the paths taken, or are there some trials and tribulations in the city? And one was able to start that conversation and take that person towards a goal and an objective the individual wanted to talk about. The coach is not the principal in the school who will tell you what needs to be discussed or what needs to be talked about. Most important thing is coaching removes operational roadblocks and takes you on a growth path, on a leadership path. one of the most important, it also helps you develop empowerment of your team members, because you're as good as a leader within the team. If you have not managed to empower your team, you cannot grow. It's only when you make yourself redundant can you grow. One of the benefits of coaching is, as you rise up the ladder, there's a saying that it is very lonely at the top. As you ride up the ladder, there is a lot of isolation in the leadership hierarchy. I mean, you don't get the right advice, or people will tell you what you want to hear. A coach helps you fight that isolation and inculcates a thought leadership in you. A coach will capitalize on your strengths. There are tremendous amount of weaknesses which all of us have. But a great coach capitalizes on your strengths and makes your strength work for you rather than only talk about your weaknesses. Increases your self-confidence and develops future leaders. Now, future leaders can be developed only if you empower the teams and the leadership under you. Never forget that. How is it applicable to the legal domain? It helps you develop leadership qualities relevant to the legal domain. A coach can focus on skills or attributes needed for different niches. It could be litigation, it could be corporate law. There could be someone says, I want to get into corporate law, but I don't want to get about it. So the coach would say, okay, a great coach only asks a lot of questions. So how would you like to go about it? What do you think are your roadblocks? What are your strengths in this field? What do you think you need to know? Why do you think you're unable to? The coach makes you think. So a coach will take you on all these points. But for example, the most important point is it inculcates strategy versus transactional thinking. Most of us are caught in operations, daily transactions. A leader is one who thinks in terms of strategy, the bigger picture. I have a favorite saying. How many sides does a coin have, by the way? Can someone tell me? How many sides does a coin have? This gentleman says 3. How many sides does a coin have? Interesting. I agree with him. 3. The edge is the most important sign of a coin. The edge makes you stand on the edge and peek on both sides and understand the macro picture, the bigger picture. When you understand the bigger picture, you understand the meaning of strategy versus operational thinking. It builds resilience and conflict resolution skills. As you go up the hierarchy, there are a lot of internal pulls and pressures. To be able to handle those pulls and pressures, you need to have conflict resolution skills. Now, our previous speaker was a very diverse, or would I say, rebel thinker. Am I right? There were certain questions asked for him which could have led to a conflict in the discussion. But he genuinely, gently sidestepped that, and because he had great conflict, resolution skills to be able to look at a high stress environment. Most legal situations, as you go up the ladder, tend to be high stress environments. It builds you the leadership skills to be able to look at that high stress environment. And very importantly in today's world, it helps you develop client handling skills. If you are unable to handle your client, whether it's an individual, whether it's a group, whether it's a matrimonial matter, or whether it's a corporate matter, your client handling skills are as important as your domain knowledge, your legal knowledge skills, etc. This is where a coach comes in, across the spectrum. Creates a continuous learning environment. To create a coaching culture in an organization, there has to be a continuous learning environment. There has to be teachings across various subjects, soft skills, hard skills, leadership skills, skills with respect to the domain, knowledge with respect to the functions which you're handling. An important thing is to create a buddy system, which I get a lot of assignments in an organization to create buddy mentors. When you create mentoring groups and buddy mentors, from those group of 8-10 people will involve 2 or 3 leaders in the future. Those 2 or 3 leaders are the ideal coaching material which can become the CEOs of tomorrow. So if you develop a coaching culture in the organization, you in your organization or in your niche or amongst your professional group, amongst your peer group, can have a group of, buddy mentors. and you discuss different topics once a week over a cup of coffee, and from there you will see leaders evolving. If we inculcate that, coaching is going to be of great help. What is the role of a coach? The biggest strength of a coach is common sense. He facilitates leadership development, charts the path to accomplish defined goals. The goals are defined by the individual, not by the coach. The coach does not tell you what to do, the coach tells you how to go about it. Identifies the roadblocks within and capitalizes on the strengths available. Does not talk of your weaknesses, does not talk of your roadblocks, but capitalizes on your strengths available. Helps you define personal and professional goals. It's very important that coaching is not about professional growth only. Coaching is about personal growth as much as professional growth. So a good coach helps you define both sides of the coin, or the three sides of the coin, and enhances the strength of the coachee. Coachee is the individual. It is my job as a coach, if I'm coaching someone, to enhance the strength of that person, not talk of the weaknesses of that person, to take that person to a different level. How executive coaching works, like I told you, there is a goal orientation, there is a goal which is discussed, there are particular objectives which are discussed, paths which are explored, activities which are set, metrics which are defined for the next session, and certain reading material is given or certain exercises are given, so that there is progress towards a goal in every session rather than a discussion. That's how coaching works. Typically, each session lasts 90 to 120 minutes, and you end with an action plan. That action plan is where the success and failure of coaching happens. What are the skills needed to become a coach? Maturity, balanced thinking. Why do research and knowledge come in? Because the coach needs to learn a lot, coach needs to know a lot. A coach needs to be a master of multiple different things, not a domain specialist in one particular thing. Very strong observation skills. A coach needs to be a very sharp, observant person to see the client sitting in front of him and see what are the pluses and minuses. How can I make this plus becoming 5 times plus? And domain knowledge is the least important knowledge. Right now, I'm coaching 2 general counsels. I'm not a lawyer, though I'm an arbitrator with a fellowship in arbitration. I do not need legal language as a coach to be able to coach those people. Small joke in the end. Remember to take into account that my client did not have an executive coach. An appeal to the jury. Any questions? Yep.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi.
Sir, you said you are arbitrator. So if one has to start a career as an arbitrator, so from where I has to start? So the question is out of context first.
No, I understand. If you want to start a career as an arbitrator, from where do you start? You need some knowledge of either the legal world or domain knowledge of the corporate world, where you know how business runs. And most importantly, you need certain certifications in the field of arbitration so that you know how the law of contracts is applicable, and most importantly, how to write a legally valid arbitration award which can withstand challenges. I can tell you on a thumb rule, 60 to 70% of awards in India which get rejected by under Section 34 of the Arbitration Act are because the award is improperly written. Yep. Any other question? We can end this discussion on this note. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And very rightly, remember to take into account my client had no executive coach. That is what is pleading before the jury. And it's right, Pralay और निर्माण दोनों शिक्षक के गोद में पलते हैं. For every Ashoka, you have a Chanakya. And on the lines of that, sir, I think your idea of executive coaching aligns with the idea of proactive self-development and personal growth. And on those lines, we would like to also present you with a memento for this wonderful speech that you gave. Thank you so much. Please, a huge round of applause for sir.